Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope all of you are hale and hearty, fit and fine, safe and sanitized. I am Smaima Ahmed, your host for How to Deliver Amazing TED Talk episodes. It's an absolute pleasure for me to welcome each one of you to our episode today. And I take this moment, my dear participants, to thank each one of you for being there, for your unflinching support, for all your love, and trust me, our aim is to serve you with all that you need, the protocols, the tools, and all kinds of equipments to become a charismatic, competent, and a confident speaker. The basic concept of TED basically is to spread ideas worth sharing. The founder and the curator of Global TED, Mr. Chris Anderson, believes that every TED talk brings with it a gift of a great idea. And that is exactly something we need to keep in mind before we actually start gearing up to become TED speakers. Remember, it's all about ideas worth sharing. So, to begin with, you need to brainstorm, you need to identify ideas, your areas of expertise, your areas of interest. And that's exactly how you decide what topic really interests you and how can you actually go ahead and make a difference to the lives of people with your ideas. So the bottom line, my dear participants, is that TED Talks are all about ideas worth sharing. And to become a charismatic TED speaker, an influential TED speaker, you need to start working right now at this junction as a student, as a school going kid. There are certain things you can do right now. Let me quickly share with you 5 practical ideas on how can you become a TED speaker tomorrow. What practices do you need to adopt today? What routines do you need to internalize today so that you're geared up to become a charismatic TED speaker, or for that matter, a good presenter? Number one, my dear participants, please make sure that you inculcate the habit of consistent reading. Now, the magic of reading is that, of course, it broadens your horizons, it expands your perspectives about different topics, and more importantly, you get a world view about life. You get a broader view about life. And books can be your greatest source of ideas. There are times when you're reading blatantly and you come across some life-changing ideas that you would like to adopt and maybe talk about. So that's number one. Please make sure that you adopt reading as a habit every single day. Do it consistently. And while reading, my dear participants, please have a journal. A journal wherein you can jot down the key points, the central ideas, the quotes you come across, the phrases you come across, the ideas you come across, things that you would like to implement later, things that can form a part of your blueprint of success, your success plan. So please make sure you're journaling simultaneously. So number one, reading. Number two, journaling. Number three, participants, please try building your knowledge bank as a public speaker. And the best way to build your knowledge bank as a public speaker is to start memorizing quotes, anecdotes, one-liners, short poems, short essays that can come handy when you're delivering a presentation, especially an impromptu or an extemporaneous presentation or talk. So start working at your knowledge bank, building your knowledge bank. The third thing you could do right now, my dear participants, is to start actively taking part in conversations, discussions, debates, and speaking contests that give you an opportunity to manifest your eloquence. It's not about waiting for the big opportunity to make a splash. It's about the baby steps you take right now at this junction. So please make sure, my dear participants, that you are grabbing this opportunity and you are taking part in events and competitions, group discussions, debates, panel discussions, classroom presentations, wherever possible, because these platforms basically rebuild, remold, and refine your public speaking ability. Right? And the fifth idea, my dear participants, is to start working at your body language right now. First idea, start reading consistently. Number two, the second idea, start journaling. Third idea, my dear participants, is to make sure that you are someone who is extending or expanding your knowledge bank. I told you how. Number four, my dear participants, please make sure that you're actively taking part in competitions, events, discussions, conversations, initiatives, wherein you get a chance to manifest your eloquence. Number five, Please remember the last idea as well, working rigorously at your body language. It's a tough nut to crack, my dear participants. Building a confident body language, working towards a confident body language can be really challenging. Why? Because you have to actually let go of your old habits. And as they say, old habits die hard. So I want all of you to start working at your body language, work at creating a confident, robust, and meaningful body language gestures. For example, work at your eye contact, work at facial expressions, work at your posture, work at your hand movements, work at the way you sit, the way you stand, your feet direction, your feet space, right? Work at your inclination towards the audience. These are small things, my dear participants, that go a long way in empowering you as a solid personality. So 5 ways, 5 habits, 5 things that you can adopt right now to become a confident public speaker, a confident TED speaker. Things you need to do today to become confident tomorrow. All right, participants, so on that note, it's time for me to get started. As you all know that these episodes are all about how to deliver a great TEDx talk, and we learn about some mantras that can help you dazzle your audience with your magical oratory skills. Now, participants, we go live every day from Monday to Friday from 7:15 to 8 p.m. So please make sure that you grab this opportunity. It's a free resource available, right? Make use of this opportunity and make sure that you are tuned with us on the Facebook page of PlanetSpark, YouTube page of PlanetSpark, and you stay connected with us. So in the last few episodes, ladies and gentlemen, I walked you through the power of TED, right? What exactly is TED Talk? What exactly is a TEDx talk? We talked about the different structures of TED Talks. We tried deconstructing the structure of TED Talks into different components. We discussed them one by one. Right now, we are primarily dealing with the 3 fundamentals. Number 1, the introduction, right? Number 2, the big purpose. And number 3, the personal touch. These are the 3 foundational elements that we are at the moment covering. We are covering currently. Coupled with this, to make things more exciting and exhilarating and comprehensive for you, we are trying to come up with a lot of exciting themes. So we've had themes like self-confidence, we've had themes like climate crisis, body language, and right now we are covering the theme of Olympics, right? So basically the reason why we are exploring different themes is to give you an idea about how TED Talks can be designed on any topic, absolutely, depending on your interests, your expertise, your enthusiasm. The only challenge is to make sure that you give it your best shot, you present the best of ideas, path-breaking, groundbreaking ideas, and that is exactly how you become a merchant of wow for your audience. Time for us to continue, my dear participants. Let's find out what is in store for us today. So, what is in store for us? As you see on the screen right now, we're going to talk about, we'll have some icebreakers to begin with. We'll have some fundamentals of a TED Talk. We'll talk about today's topic, which is big purpose. How do you incorporate a purposeful sense of mission while delivering your TED Talk? We'll also talk about essentials, essential 1, essential 2, essential 3. And to make things really exciting for you, I make it a point to bring in some games here and there. Games like, who said this, fastest fingers first. I ask you some questions by the end of the session. I'm going to give you a summary at the end. I'm going to give you a recommendation of the TED Talk that you're supposed to watch today. I'll also be giving you some vocabulary words here and there. So make sure that you do listen to these words and you try incorporating them in your everyday conversation. I'm also going to give you some expert tips as well. And finally, I'm going to be summarizing the whole session for you so that you have everything available at your disposal in a nutshell. So thank you so much. I see a lot of viewers who've joined in. We have amazing comments also pouring in. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for all your love, my dear participants. It's absolutely delightful to see your comments, your praises, your compliments. And that is when the service becomes rewarding, when you truly appreciate it, when you take advantage of it, and when you apply the techniques that we discuss in these live episodes. All right, participants. So moving on, let's talk a little bit about the icebreakers. So as you all know, we always begin our sessions with an icebreaker so that we get to know each other and we ease the atmosphere. So the icebreaker today is all about, based on the images, can you guess the professions? The presentation has been designed for all age groups, especially the young ones, the younger guns. So I'll be so happy to see your comments in the comment section, especially from the young guns. Let's do it. Oh, all right, boys and girls, can you please identify what profession is this? It's loud and clear. All right. Well, we have 4 to 5 comments here, and all of you are absolutely correct. That's cricket, undoubtedly. A cricketer. The second one, participants. All right. So I see we do have some good comments here. So if you're trying to guess, some of you say a speaker, some of you say a coach. I see some comments about a presenter. All right, good. I'm happy about the fact that you're putting on your thinking caps and you're actually involving yourself and being so interactive. Well, I think your answers are absolutely correct. You're quite close to the answer. It's a journalist. I'm going to give you the third image, the last one. Let's see what you've got to say. Yes, my dear participants. Come on, let's see some more comments in the comment box. All right. Okay. All right. So we do have some comments like scientists, researchers. Okay. Let's see who's correct. Well, the correct answer for this image is a scientist. Well done, participants. I appreciate your efforts and also your accuracy. Well done. Now, moving on, dear participants. What are the fundamentals of a TED Talk? We've seen this since the beginning of our episodes, the strong opening, the big purpose, and the personal touch. We've been talking about all 3 elements in detail. You know, we actually structure our modules in a way that we talk about what, why, and how. What is it? How do we do it? And why do we do it? So I give you a number of reasons. I give you a number of structures behind every theme. And that is the reason why these episodes are so comprehensive and lucid. And that too for every age group. Now, let's talk about today's theme. I told you, we are trying to explore different themes so that you get to know that TED Talks can be given on absolutely any topic under the sun. So what are Olympics? Olympics are basically a major international multi-sport event normally held once in 4 years. They were first held in 1896 in Athens, Greece, and most recently, the 2020 Olympics, Summer Olympics, held in 2021 in Tokyo, Japan. All right, now what is today's theme? Today, we will be discussing about the second fundamental, that is a big purpose, keeping in mind, corresponding it with the topic Olympics. So yesterday's episode was all about the first one, right? And what was the first essential? As you know, it is a strong opening. So yesterday we dealt with a strong opening. All right. We picked up the example of Olympics and we tried giving all the examples from the recent Olympics, from the theme Olympics, and we tried creating a strong opening with the help of number 1, the introduction, the opening minute comprising of a quote, a positive line, a catchy line, and raising a relevant question. Then we moved on to the second part, which was making sure that you relate the event. You introduce the event in a few lines and you relate the event to a past or a present event. All right. And the third element was incorporating fun facts. All right. Incorporating fun facts. So today, my dear participants, let's talk about the big purpose. So we've talked about what exactly are Olympics. Now, how do we talk about the big purpose in terms of Olympics? Let's talk about this. Let's dive into it and find more about this exciting topic. Now, the million-dollar question that I have for you, my dear participants, is why do we need a big purpose? Now, we know big purpose is crucial. We know it's important to be purposeful and meaningful, coherent and concise while delivering a TED Talk. What can we do? And why do we need a big purpose? All right, let's talk about it. There are 3 reasons. Number 1, the first reason is when you actually have a purpose in your talk, when you incorporate a big purpose in your talk, you emphasize why a particular topic is important and why it needs everybody's attention. So you highlight the significance of the topic. When you tell the audience, this is the purpose of the talk, you tell the audience that this is why this is meaningful. This is why it's crucial. This is why we need to have it, right? So you emphasize on the significance of the topic. Number 2, the second advantage of actually having a big purpose in your talk, my dear participants, is to remember that it brings attention, immediate attention to the relevance of the topic. For example, of the topic, even if the topic is very simple and commonplace, if you're someone who knows how to talk about the big purpose, you can instantly grab the attention of your audience and let them know this topic is crucial, relevant, and significant for them right now at this day and age. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, you also generate curiosity in your audience. Your audience is curious and inquisitive to know, why is this topic relevant? How does this topic relate to us? So you relate the topic to your audience. You tell them why is this important to them. Remember the human tendency, ladies and gentlemen. Every human being has this question in the back of their minds every time they're listening to you, and that is, what is in it for me? And if they do not find anything in it for them, it's going to be difficult for you to strike a chord with them, right? So let them know what is in your talk for them. How will they benefit? How will they derive some advantage out of it? All right, participants. Now, moving on, let's talk about the essentials of a big purpose. Number 1, what is big purpose? We talked about. Number 3, why is it important? We talked about it. Number 3, how do we do it? How do we distribute? How do we divide the big purpose into different elements? So there are 3 essential elements of big purpose, and you need to incorporate these 3 elements in your TED Talk. Now, what are these 3 elements? So the participants who have been regularly joining me in at this time for the talk, for the broadcast, please make sure that you basically jot this down in your notebook. Please write this down in your notebook. All right, please do it, participants. Yes, I can see some thumbs up there. Very good. Please jot down these 3 points in the same notebook that you're following since the same notebook that you've been using since day 1, since the first episode. All right, participants. So as you see, there are 3 essentials of the big purpose. Number 1, the reason why you need to have a big purpose is to emphasize the importance, to show how important is the topic right now for the audience and for you as well. Number 2, you break down the topic. You simply don't talk about the big purpose non-stop, endlessly, ceaselessly, and bore your audience. No, it's going to be boring. What you do instead is you break down your topic. And how do you do it? I'm going to teach you exactly that. Number 3, bring it all together. At the end, you've got to summarize and bring it all together so that you present everything, you encapsulate everything for your audience and make it readily available for them. All right, so they don't have to run helter-skelter for, oh my goodness, what was the beginning? What was the body? What was the conclusion? You bring everything together. You encapsulate everything for them in a nutshell, right? So 3 reasons why you need to have big purpose and 3 reasons as to how do you incorporate the big purpose. These are 3 elements, 3 essentials, 3 components of the big purpose. Number 1, you emphasize the importance. Number 2, you break down the topic into smaller topics and more understandable themes, subtopics basically. And number 3, you bring it all together at the end by summarizing everything for your audience. Now, participants, before we continue, let's talk about the first essential, that is the importance. How do you highlight the importance of your topic in a TED Talk, especially before an elite audience? Let's talk a little bit about it. I'm going to give you multiple examples to help you comprehend this idea. So as you see, what we can do is we can highlight the importance of Olympics as the first essential of big purpose. For example, every year when the Olympics are around the corner, we witness innumerable stories of hardships of athletes and the success stories too. In many other ways, in many such ways, Olympics has been stirring hope and motivation in the minds of people since its inception. Think about it, what an incredible way of highlighting the significance of Olympics. All right. So you try to highlight the significance in terms of in language that your audience understands, they can relate to, and eventually something that they've experienced. Now, topics like hope, motivation are common topics that every single human being walking on the face of this planet is in need of. So I think talking about the importance of Olympics in this context can be a remarkable idea. The next one is my expert tip for you participants. When talking about Olympics, it's always advisable to know about all the events that come into Olympics, facts and all the other facts related to Olympics. Now remember, my dear participants, every time you choose a technical topic, a topic that is current, a topic that is voluminous, you need to keep cross-checking your ideas. You can't be sharing false information with your audience, either knowingly or unknowingly. So please keep cross-checking your facts, your figures, your statistics, your information, so that you deliver updated and accurate information to your target audience. I'm going to give you a quick word to add to your vocabulary, my dear participants, and the word here is enhance. Enhance. It's a verb which means to improve or increase or intensify or simply ameliorate, right? In layman's language, improve the quality of something, the value of something, the extent of something. Let's see this example. Mark's extra efforts enhanced his performance. So enhancement is a noun, enhance is a verb. It's a beautiful word that you should be using in your conversational English. Moving on, participants, I'm going to quickly play a game with you. I see a good number of viewers who've joined me in. Viewers, come on. I want you to be on your toes and answer the question. Who said this is a game that we play in every episode when I give you a quote? You've got to put on your thinking cap, think about who said it, and report to me in the comment box. All right, here's the first quote. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. I'm going to give you a minute to think about and maybe share in your comments. All right, participants, carry on. I see some comments. Oh no, some of you have been writing the names of classical English writers, American writers, British writers. Well, I'm happy you're making guesses, but I don't yet see a correct answer here. Okay, let me spill the beans for you. Thank you for your guesses, though. The answer is Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho is a modern writer, He says, when we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. Such an optimistic quote. I'm going to give you the second one, participants. Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Can you put on your thinking caps and eventually share your answers in the chat box? Please carry on. Yes, go on. Well done, participants. Again, I see a lot of names, poets' names, writers' names here. Okay, let's see how close you are, how accurate you are. The correct answer here, my dear participants, is Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was the one who said that spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Isn't that beautiful? Captures the essence of human kindness and compassion. Let's talk about the third one, ladies and gentlemen. Always remember that you are absolutely unique, just like everyone else. All right. Let's see what comments we have in the comment section. Okay, we already have 2 comments here. Well, that's a good guess, my dear participants. Let's think more. Let's try getting closer to it. All right. Okay, participants, I appreciate your efforts. Good guesses. Well, let's see the correct answer. The correct answer to this question is Margaret Mead. That's the quote by Margaret Mead. Moving on, it's time for me to continue with my agenda for the day. The first element, as you all know, my dear participants, is to emphasize on the topic given. After you're done emphasizing, the next thing you do is you break down the topic. Now, what is meant by breaking down the topic? It simply means dividing the topic into different elements. Now, what are the elements that I am referring to? Well, breaking down the topic refers to two elements here. Number one, relate your topic to a major event. Talk about how it affects people. So basically talk about the cause and the effect. The cause and the effect. That's all. That's going to work wonders for you. Every time you have a topic, even if it's a technical topic, talk about the causes and the effects. All right. So let's see. Number one, relating your topic to a major event. Number two, seeing how it affects people or other commodities in general. I'm going to give you an example, a major event. Let us look at one of the major events in the history of Olympics. And what event are we referring to? Female athletes compete for the first time. Women took part in Olympic events at the 1900 Games in Paris, when a total number of 997 athletes, out of them 22 were females. This was quite a whopping number because female participation has always been comparatively less in the Olympics. This was for the first time that something novel, something breathtaking was reported. So female participation. The next one, my dear participants, is back then they were only allowed to compete in 5 sports. So women initially were allowed to compete only in 5 sports: tennis, sailing, croquet, golf, and equestrianism. So these are the 5 sports that they were competing in. However, things have dramatically changed since 1900. We know that we have, a plethora of female athletes right now competing for different games, and they've been bringing laurels to their countries. We've seen our Indian athletes bringing laurels, female athletes bringing laurels to India through their diligent and remarkable performances. So that's about major event. One more fact here. The 2012 Games in London were the first in which women competed for the first time in all sports on the program, and any new sport to join the Olympic program must have female competitors. Think about it. What a revolution, you see. Starting the journey way back in 2000, and in next 12 years, we had a lot of female participants, you see. Now, how does it affect people? How does this topic affect people, boys and girls? So let's see the explanation here. The effect on the people, the impact on the people. So Olympics happen to be an integral part of the lives of sports enthusiasts. It brings in the aspect of harmony, sportsmanship amongst the competitors. First, what we've done is we've tried relating it to an event, a major event, a path-breaking event. Number two, we tried to talk about how does this affect the people in general, the general public, right? So we talk about how sports enthusiasts are so passionate, and we talk about the attributes, the feelings that Olympics promote among the general public as well as the participants. It also is very interesting for the viewers since it brings out anticipation, obviously, thrill and excitement. One also feels affinity with the fellow citizens. So we all know how we come together to root for our nations, to encourage the players, and that's something that actually encourages a sense of affinity amongst the citizens, and there's a lot of anticipation, thrill, and excitement among the viewers too. Let's quickly add something to our vocabulary, my dear participants. I'm going to give you a new word, affinity. Affinity is nothing but, it's a noun as you see on the screen, a natural liking for or understanding of someone or something. Basically, a sense of liking towards someone, orientation towards someone, a sense of, attraction towards someone or something. She felt special affinity with animals. That's a sentence I'm giving you to help you understand the usage as well. Now, let's quickly play a game, my dear participants. The game is called Fastest Fingers. Okay? So you have to tell me the yes or no in the comment section. Grab this chance and please make it a point to be interactive. Is this true or not? Number one, Olympics happen once in 5 years. You all know it. Olympics happen once in 4 years. So that's a no. The next one, next question, participants. Is this true or not? Olympics are very important for sports enthusiasts. What do you think? Yes or no in the comment section, please? Well, amazing. We already have a lot of comments. Thank you so much. Thank you, boys and girls. Yes, it happens to be an integral part in the lives of sports enthusiasts, undoubtedly. Well, now the time for us to talk about the third essential. The first essential was number one, making sure that you have the big purpose through the emphasis. You emphasize on the topic. You emphasize on the importance of the topic. Number two was divide your content into number one, your major event relating to major event, and then cause and effect. Talk about the cause and effect relationship. The third one is bring it all together. Bring it all together, as the name suggests, as the phrase says, summarize your points. All right, how do you do it? I'm going to give you a quick example. We saw how Olympics have been an important part of global sports and how it has contributed in making sports persons better. Right? We can learn dedication, hard work, and so many other qualities from the sports persons who train hard every day for a goal and try to implement these goals in their lives. Right? How beautifully said. So remember, bring it all together. It's all about summarizing, no repetition of content. You may slightly paraphrase and make sure that you deliver something comprehensive and conclusive at the end of the summary. Let me ask you a few questions, my dear participants. In which of the following years did women participate for the first time in Olympics? I discussed this in the beginning a few minutes ago. Bingo! Already 2 or 3 participants have written 1900. Absolutely. 1900 is the answer. The next question for you is, where was the most recent Olympics held? Oh my goodness, we were glued to the television screens, I'm sure. Yes, you're absolutely correct. All right, participants, yes, that is Tokyo Olympics, undoubtedly. Okay, now it's time for me to give you a recommendation for the TED video. We know there are tons of TEDx talks on YouTube, and it is really perplexing for a newbie to pick one and watch it. So I give you a recommendation every day. My today's recommendation is here. Watch this video titled, How Failure Got Me to the Olympics. Please do watch it. There's a number of views, a good number of views, and the speaker happens to talk about, how Olympics can be your launch pad in life. Now let's talk about what we've done today, participants. We talked about a big purpose. That is the second fundamental of TED Talk, the first one being the opening or the introduction. And today we talked about the big purpose in terms of 3 sections. The first one being importance of the topic. The second one being breaking down the topic into smaller topics like cause and effect, relating to a major event. Number 3, bringing it all together through a comprehensive summary. That is the summary, my dear participants. Please remember, an idea without execution is just an illusion. And therefore, please try implementing all that we've learned today and draft your script for a TEDx talk on Olympics and get ready to learn the third fundamental tomorrow. And that's going to be a personal touch. You'll be wondering, how do I talk about my personal touch in a topic as objective as Olympics? We'll learn exactly how to do that. So tomorrow's topic, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a personal touch. All right. So participants, so with that, we come to the end of today's workshop, today's live episode. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for making it a roaring success. I'm going to catch you tomorrow at the same time with something more interesting, more intriguing, more enriching. In the meantime, I'll really expect you to go through the notes once, to revise everything we've studied today, and to make sure that you join me tomorrow with a bang, with double alacrity, and we'll have some more interaction, we'll play some more games, and eventually the mission is to serve you, is to help you become the world class, not just as a TED speaker, but also as an overall communicator. And that is what we are striving for. Let's remember what Martin Luther King Jr. had said. He said that when you talk to people in a language that they understand, your message reaches their head. But when you talk to people in the language, in their language, your message reaches their heart. So let's try understanding what the audience requires, what is the audience's needs, their interests, their concerns, their expectations, and eventually start working at developing our TED Talks, our TED scripts. Thank you so much for joining in, participants. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Till then, please stay tuned. Take good care of yourselves. Stay safe. And see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. See ya.